Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Whitney and today I'm going to be doing a recap of my 1 month, 1 palette challenge for you guys. And just let's get into it. Spoiler alert, there's not much progress. So before I really get into the nitty gritty, go ahead and subscribe, click that button below, check out all my future videos, all my past videos, and if you like this one, give it a thumbs up. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. This month, the month of November, has been a roller coaster to say the least. I have been sick off and on. I had my youngest son who was sick. So between October and November, I've only worn makeup a handful of times. So with that said, there's not much progress at all in my palette for this month. And that palette was the Modern Renaissance from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And so let me just go ahead and show you guys what the progress looks like, because there is none. I'm just going to give you a close-up real quick of these shades. And you can tell there's not much usage on any of these. I did wear this palette a handful of times. Every time I did wear makeup in November, I wore this palette. And I gotta say, I really loved the looks that I got from it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another look, because I didn't do any of the weekly looks that I originally had said that I was going to do for you guys. So I did that first look, which was that like pink berry tone look in my intro, and so I'm gonna do more of the exact opposite, more of the oranges and these kind of taupey orange shades. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. I have my base makeup, my eyebrows, everything done. My eyes are primed and prepped and set, ready to go. So I'm going to start this look and give you another eyeshadow look from this palette and give you some thoughts on the palette and my experience throughout this month with this palette. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fluffy brush and I'm going to go into Golden Ochre, which is this shade right here. And I'm going to put that shade in the crease of my eyelid. So with this palette, I know in the intro I said that I really enjoyed the blendability, and that is still true. I don't see any decline in this palette as far as the blendability or the pigmentation or anything like that. Now, like I said, I did not wear makeup for like 2 weeks. So the fact that I wasn't opening and closing it every single day, I wasn't using it every single day, may make a difference. But I did get some good use out of it, even though there's no progress to be shown in the palette. I do feel like I did get some good use out of it. And I really enjoyed using it. So it wasn't a palette that I struggled to use. It's definitely something that I could take out every single day and use every single day and get a great eye look with and love that look. So I'm very happy that I was able to pull this out this month and actually play with it, because it's been quite a while since I have actually played with this palette. So, I mean, overall, I'm very happy, and this challenge definitely did exactly what it was supposed to do for me as far as my eyeshadows, to get me to use eyeshadows that I don't typically use. Next, I'm going to go in with a slightly smaller brush into the Real Gar shade, which is this nice deep orange shade right here. Oh my gosh, see, look at that pigmentation. I mean, it just, oh, let me zoom y'all in. So I know the lights kind of wash out some of the pigmentation, but this palette, I mean, I'm barely touching my brush into the shade and it just presses on so beautifully. I absolutely love these warm orange shades. They are just gorgeous. And look at that, it just blended beautifully. So for any of you who have tried this challenge, like if there's a month like this month for me when I only was able to use the palette for a couple of weeks or a handful of times because I was sick or something, would y'all just continue to use it, or would you just put it aside and move on to the next? I am gonna put it aside and move on to the next, because I feel like I got out of it what I wanted. I wanted to know if I loved this palette. I wanted to know if the shadows still performed well. And I wanted to know if I could use this on a consistent basis. And I did all three of those things. So even though I'm saying consistent, it wasn't every single day because I was sick for quite a bit of November. I had no trouble. I was not struggling to pull this palette and say, let me use this to do my eye makeup. It was actually pretty easy. I was able to do a lot of looks, and actually you can check those looks out. I posted quite a few of them on Instagram, so that'll be linked in the description box below. my Instagram, and you can check that out. I posted a bunch of, not a bunch, but I posted a few pictures of eye looks that I did with this palette. It just, this month just showed me that this palette's so versatile, and that I really could pull this as an everyday eyeshadow palette and have no trouble using it, which is exactly the purpose of this, you know, challenge for me anyway. And I have noticed with this palette again that there is quite a bit of fallout in the pans, but that doesn't bother me a ton because I just tap my brush and I use that fallout. So that fallout never really bothers me. Does that bother you guys any? Because that's never really been a big issue for me. Going back into that golden ochre shade and just buffing out these edges. I'm going to go in with my Sephora Jumbo Eye Pencil as my lid base. And then I'm going to go into the golden shade called Primavera, which is this one right here. And I'm going to lay that right on top of that lid shade. And hopefully you can see again how just metallic and beautiful and pigmented and creamy. I don't have any issues with these shadows. It's unreal because I've had this palette for so long and I've just seen so many people say that their palette went bad, their shadows didn't perform. But I mean, look at that. Like these, I mean, I have no complaints. Like it's amazing. I'm going to continue doing these 1 month 1 palette challenges. So if y'all saw my inventory video for my eyeshadow palettes or even my single eyeshadows, if there's anything in that y'all saw that y'all really liked and you want to see next for a 1 month 1 palette, let me know. Obviously I'm probably going to choose one before I get the comments from this video, but you know, going forward I'll try and pick if you guys have a choice or a preference. If you have a palette that you want to see some different looks with or see some progress in that I own, just let me know and I can get those, you know, in the rotation, because eventually I'm going to go through all my palettes, so it doesn't really matter to me like the order of which I go in. I'm going to go back into Realgar and just blend out those edges. Like this is just such a simple, easy, quick look. And I know it's like glam and dramatic, but like that doesn't bother me at all. I'm going to take a tinier brush and go back into Realgar, and I'm going to take that on my lower lash line. I'm not going to go all the way in, just about 2/3 of the way. Just kind of connecting that outer edge down to my lash line. And then I'm going to go back into Golden Ochre and buff out that lower lash line. And finally I'm going to go into Tempera right here, and I'm going to highlight my brow bone. And I love that this Tempera shade works well with the berry tones and the warm orange brown tones. It's definitely more of a neutral, so if I'm wearing the warm tones it pulls warmer. If I'm wearing the berry tones it pulls a little more cool tone. It's really just like the perfect shade in here, neutral shade for that, for the brow bone in this palette. I'm going to go back in with this brush that had Realgar on it, no additional product, and just kind of buff out the edges a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing with the brush that had Golden Ochre on it as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and show y'all one last time the usage on my palette. You can see a little bit of a dip in the Primavera shade and in the, what is that, Vermeer shade. So those are the shimmer shades. Those show the most progress on them, of course. Tempera I did use quite a bit, but you can't really tell. And then the other shades there's not a ton of progress in. So go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and just give a couple of final thoughts, quick thoughts on this palette, and we'll wrap up this video. Alright y'all, so here's the finished makeup look. And I'll just run through real quick to let you know what I put on my face, so that way if you have any questions, they will be answered. I went in for blush with my Tarte palette that's in my Project Pan. And you can have a little spoiler on this. I went in with these two shades right here. And I'll go more into detail about that palette in my update. For my highlighter, I used my Becca highlighter in Opal. And I used this on my inner corner as well as for my regular highlight. And then, you know, for mascara, of course, I did a little cocktail. But today I just went in with the Rimmel Lash Accelerator and my Sephora Black Mascara. And then for lips, I just went in with this little mini Urban Decay in the shade Naked. And that's it. This is a very simple, easy look. I know it looks a little bit more dramatic, but the shadows are just super pigmented. So let me go ahead and just recap my thoughts on the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. So in all, I love this palette. I am so glad that I still have it in my collection. I love the pigmentation, the performance, the vibrant colors. It's just amazing. And I will definitely be pulling this out to play with here and there. But I will be doing 1 month, 1 palette challenges with the rest of my collection. So look forward, stay tuned and look forward to that. And if you have this palette, show me your progress. Show me what your palette looks like, because I feel like my palette just looks brand new, which is ridiculous because it's not. I've used it a ton. So that's it, you guys. I hope that you like this look. I hope that you like the first look, and check out my Instagram to see any of the additional looks that I did with this palette throughout the month of November. And I'm really thankful that you guys are watching my videos and enjoying them. And if you have any recommendations on palettes you'd like to see in the future, just let me know. Comment below, just talk to me, chit chat. I love to chit chat with you guys. Anything, what you're working on right now, what palettes you're working on, so, or what plans you have for the holidays, anything like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And